Hello, who are we? How are you? We're gonna be a paradox. We're gonna do a paradox run. It is what, like the last day of April, and we're still in the midst of the lockdown, the quarantine, the global pandemic. Okay, remote bullets. Okay, they're droppable, but they're fine for now. They're gonna make the sawed-off a better weapon, but they might not long-term be what we want to keep. I didn't know if it was a starting passive if you had to keep it. But we're still in it, and that's fine. I honestly will always be of the opinion of, you know, it's better to do this once than multiple times. A bunch of spikes and jumps and pretend ends to this is much worse than the idea, in practice, as far as I'm concerned, than doing it once, doing it right, and being done with disease forever. That's how I feel about it. I'm not so willing to get rid of everything to get back to work. Like, it would be great if things went back to normal tomorrow, but I mostly want, when they do go back to normal, them to go back to normal for good. In my Discord, Roddy brought up the Elon Musk Free America Now disgusting, abhorrent, shitty, selfish, pathetic tweet that he made recently. And you know, Elon Musk is always going to be a pot stirrer, an instigator, a guy who likes to make people talk about him. And he has often been on the wrong side of issues, publicly and openly. But usually he's not on the wrong side of science. Personal opinions about stuff, that's fine. You can be an idiot about personal things, but when you're on the wrong side of science and you're willing to, like, essentially sacrifice workers and customers to get back to normalcy, to get back to people spending money, to get back to factories being built. He was very willing to ignore state police orders in order to keep his Fremont facility open, as like employees were like, hey Musk, can we get the fuck out of here? And he's like, nah, we gotta keep making that money. And that's like, oh man, well, not a whole heck of a lot I could have done about this bad start situation. Hopefully he does a lot of no move 'em style attacks. But he's right there with Bezos and all the rest in this one. He is seeing, I mean, the fucking stocks are like soaring right now, maybe because of exactly this, you know, stupid tweet storm. But you know, he's genuinely gonna lose some long-term support. I think that he's going kind of off the deep end because he's got selfish billionaires telling him that he needs to be doing whatever in his crazy evil wizard power set he can to get people talking about him and buying Teslas again, or supporting SpaceX, or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Like, this shit is not important right now. And, you know, I've defended Elon Musk numerous times, and I'm not going to defend him on this. I will defend him overall, and I'll defend the company overall as, like, better for the world than it is worse. or better than it is harmful, or something. Like, his personality, his personal beliefs, whatever, those are stupid and they suck a lot of the time. But, like, for the most part, that doesn't matter. This situation, it matters. And he's wrong and fundamentally selfish to the point of, like, me losing a lot of respect for him. And, like, who the fuck am I, right? But this and the goddamn Thailand thing, he's picking the wrong side for what could only be purely insane reasons. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna keep. Oh, we're gonna keep it. 36, not a lot of money. But I don't know. Like I'm really, like, just fucking disgusted by it. Like, it sucks. And it also really sucks because it's not terribly surprising. When it comes down to it, he is... We're not going to use it. He's first and foremost a businessman, and businessmen are mostly interested in business. Like, that's their thing. That's their incentive. They're interested in pulling in dollars more than they are doing the right thing. Like, I don't know if what he did for any of his companies was technically a hostile takeover, but it's got all the earmarks of a hostile takeover for a lot of his things. Like, you know, damn, I'm already getting tired of the RC bullets. Is a hostile takeover, as far as I understand it, is when people buy enough stocks to to change the direction of a business, right? And then they eventually force the original creators of the business out, or the venture or whatever. So basically, through not necessarily nefarious means, they're usually market legal means, but not the most decent means, they take ownership of someone else's hard work, and then a lot of times I think they will sell the whole thing off, let the company fail. It seems to be what's happening with, like, Gawker Media and Kotaku and all of that. There was a weird lawsuit from Hulk Hogan or something, and then it, like, changed hands so many times, and it's basically now they're letting the company fail because it's not going in the way they want. I don't know. Anyway, so a hostile takeover is a Wall Street thing. And, you know, Tesla, the company itself, was not Musk's invention. He bought into it early and put money behind it and used his PayPal earnings to really, like, ramp production, and used his personality and his connections and things like that to secure more funding and get all of that going. But he is not the inventor of the Tesla Roadster. He is not the first or initial idea person of the company. He's the face of it, and he's the money of it. And is really, like, necessary to remember that. This is not me backpedaling on Elon Musk. I still think that, like, what he's done has been more good than bad overall. And I think that what Tesla's done specifically, which is more of where my focus is more good than bad. But, like, you can still do more good than bad and do some really terrible, selfish shit. Like, it doesn't forgive all actions, you know? So, I talked to Moses today, and it seems like Washington State is reopening partially. It's not Tennessee or wherever. It's not one of those states that's just like, we need to be able to go to restaurants. It's opening up some like golf courses, some parks, things like that. Things that you, I think boating is going to be available soon. It seems like it's mostly small scale, mostly solitary endeavors are going to be allowable, acceptable, legal. But even that, oh man, that sucked. I personally feel like maybe a little too fast. And it's maybe, I think it's one of those things where people are going to like get a taste and want the whole thing. I think it's going to encourage some people like, hey, this is fine, so why can't we go back to everything being regular? And I don't think that the situation with the virus is there. I also don't think the way that Musk or any, you know, the Liberate Michigan comment from President Trump is like, I just don't think that they're the right way to have the discussion, to make it seem like these things are criminal. I don't know, like, these are not infringing on civil rights. These are doing the smartest thing for the collective good. And if people are unwilling to sacrifice eating at their favorite pizza place or whatever in order to allow other people to get sick and die, then I think that they are the ones that are infringing on the rights of other people. I don't know. You know how I feel about it. Anyway, that's basically how I feel about it. But in other news, another quarantine situation news, Nate left today. He went back to his apartment. Again, I don't think that it's necessarily the right time, but he is his own person, and he has been here for, I think, like 35 days or something like that. And he's ready to get back to normalcy to some degree. I don't think that it's like, I don't personally think that is the right call, but you know, who gives a fuck what I think? It's honestly like, it's his life. He can do what he wants. It's fine. That's, you know, he's not going out and now coughing on everyone or trying to like ignoring, you know, what needs to be done about the situation. But I personally just think that the desire to get back to situation as it was needs to wait till the situation is as it was. And that's my own personal opinion about it. And you know, hopefully whatever happens, everybody stays safe. That's the main hope and concern. And we didn't get a single other key. Dude, that sucks. Is there another one for sale? No. Alright, well, we're going to destroy all of these chests. We're going to start with blue. But I really hope we make it to the Abbey, because that's going to be a lot to sacrifice. That's going to be a lot to sacrifice for nothing if we do end up getting hit. So I'm probably going to be a little focused. No, can't be there. Willing to sacrifice these jizz. Yeah, I mean, like, that kind of rolls back into it. Like, I think that now is the time that people have to still be a little willing to sacrifice. You have to hold off until the time is right, or you're going to do this multiple times. We're going to be, you know, 1 week after the next, we're going to be jumping from like, all right, we're back to normal. Okay, there's a massive spike in cases, and we're going to shut everything down again. And that's so much worse. That's so much stupider than just like letting things be broken for a bit fix everything and then going back to a healed world, you know? Like, or fix the thing completely. It's like, it's a remission kind of situation, you know, like, whoa, that was weird. Shoved him all the way to the other side of the door. Couldn't even target him. You know, in instances of things like cancer or similar situations where people will feel like it's all clear, but there's still a little bit of the disease or whatever left, and then they'll stop the treatment. It happens a lot of times with antibiotics, I think. People will not finish their full set of treatment. The disease will come back, and it'll come back much worse. And, you know, I'm trying to think of another example besides a medical one, but the medical one seems the most fitting for the situation we're currently in. But just, I don't know. Why are people willing to do it wrong so many times? Dude, this fucking shit with the keys. Okay, we made it. Like, we're not gonna change our habits around here. The main reason that it sucks about Nate going back to his apartment is since we're doing a full-on lockdown here, it does mean that until all of this is passed, we basically can't see Nate. We've had many instances of wanting to see a bunch of our friends, and we just can't do it now. What's up? No, I'm not. Oh. I have to use the same program to just record. This chat thing it has stuff that I can search for the game without opening up a web browser for it. What are you up to? Oh, really? Sorry. This one's just slightly harder to aim on. It's just because he's such a small target. A parakeets right now is my favorite bird. Dude, 3 browns in that secret room. We may be buying another blank, or maybe I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we're not doing anything. We're leaving the house as infrequently as possible. We're getting as much done through delivery services. We're still, like, anytime we get groceries delivered, we're wiping down everything. We're not only just wiping down everything, we're also just like, shit. We're leaving shit, damn it, out on the porch for 6 hours a lot of the time. On the back porch where no one can see it, of course. But, like, not touching anything that comes in without gloves. Dude, fucking remote bullets. Wow. Stop suddenly getting hit a lot. I want to do this fucking boss fight and determine from there what we're doing with this. This is a shit room. This is the second wave with the 2 Iron Maidens, isn't it? And the 2 veteran shotgun guns. Oh, it's not Iron Maidens, it's Cuboids. Okay, yeah. Not quite as bad. I don't know, man. This whole thing, like, I really sympathize with the stress that people are going through. I really sympathize with it. But I don't think that it means that the right decision is to give in to wants and desires over doing what is obviously the smarter and better thing to do. Like, the safer for yourself and for everyone else. Let's not forget that that's a big part of the equation. It's not just about you. It's about you and every other fucking human being in the world. It takes, as noted by the fact that it started this way, it takes one person to cause an outbreak. And I'm not saying we need to stay at this until the situation gets to there's 0 people, but there needs to be some way of handling it. There needs to be a vaccine or something, or the transmission rate is so low that it's actually no worse than any other contagious disease. God damn it. Even if the outcome is scarier. But right now it's so fucking contagious, and so many people still are spreading it. I think Washington State is at an transmission rate of 1 right now, meaning for every, maybe this was a couple days ago, and I know this is all changing. The timeline, the scope, the scale of all of this is changing day by day as new information it comes to light. But transmission rate of 1, as far as I understand it, and I'm again not an expert on any of this, is, oh my god, why am I getting hit so much? Is it because I'm just getting closer, trying to use the shotgun? It means that for every person that has it, on average, for every one person that has it, there's one person catching it. It is spreading. You know, if I get it, as an example, let's say if I get it, I then would be giving it to one other person. And then that one other person would be potentially giving it to one other person. It's an endless, you know, one spread. If it's like, say, 0.5, that means for every 2 people that catch it, 1 new person is getting the disease. And like right now, since there's no way to really stop the spreading or kill the disease in the host, you know, that essentially means that every time a single person gets it, it goes out to one other person. On average, I get it, statistics, whatever. But that's a huge increase. That still means that, like, by the end of it, it'll go through every single person eventually. It's not exponential, whereas if one person gets it, 3 people get it, then those 3 people give it to 3 people. So now 9 new cases are popping up, and then after that 27 new cases are popping up, and so on and so forth. It's an improvement over that. Damn, I cannot believe I got hit there, and I just lost my last piece of armor before going to the fucking floor. And I also can't believe that I hit both of these, so I'm gonna get the exact same treasure. Oh boy, that's a real shitty exact same treasure to get. I want to try something. What? It's just gone? The one that I was currently holding? No. Okay. Why won't it let me drop the weapon? Let me try something. Okay. That's what's going on. Now, can I give 2 t-shirt cannons to this gun muncher and get something? If it gives me a t-shirt cannon, I'm gonna... Well, I'm not gonna be super surprised, but... is about on par with a t-shirt came. This doesn't feel like a major improvement. 9 hearts. 9 fucking hearts on the floor. Wow. Not bad. Pretty early for that one, too. I think I'm going to drop remote bullets before trying this. No, I'm going to try it as this. Damn. Damn. Alright. I just wanted to get that one. Shotgun-Cola is fine. Shotgun-Cola is fine. Alright, well. Did the best we could with this with this floor. Yeah, we need some ammo for that. We need some armor. Where did I get armor? Oh, the thing. We got 2 armor. Okay. So hopefully we can make that. We might have to... I think this is going to be a boss fight that... we're going to drop the... RC bullets outside of the fight. You know what I would love? And I'm gonna start wanting it like every run. The fucking glass cannon, dude. That thing has been killer recently. I don't know, enough about COVID. I think... I don't know, man. It feels weird. Like... Jackie and I are really, like, keeping ourselves active and focused during all of this. It is going to be weird, the house being a little emptier now. Got a little bit of that ENS going on. Like, you know, you get used to having people around. It's like when we first moved out from Kansas City. In Kansas City, we had a, we were living in a house with 4, well, it was the 2 of us and 2 other people, you know, it was a total of 4 in the house. Nate, Kevin, Jackie, and I. And it wasn't always great. It was often a huge pain in the ass to have so many fucking roommates. But what it also was always something going on. Even if some of that stuff, a lot of it was negative, there was always something going on. And because of that, it kept us like, I don't know, things initially felt like quiet and weird when we first moved off on our own out here. Like after the first week of it being this new like wonderful thing of not having roommates, it felt pretty strange. And you know, there's, ooh, baby. Okay, so let's do this. And then teleport right on down here. Smelleport. Back up here. Ooh, I wish we had more ammo for that. Oh well, we'll burn through it and then do this the other way. But, you know, it's strange suddenly being in a quieter place. It's great in a lot of ways to not have the runaround chaos of multiple people living with you, but it is fucking strange. It's just different, and I know the like empty nest syndrome has to feel fucking weird to parents, especially because that's 18 years of things being one way, or however long. Maybe not the full 18 years. Oh man, didn't even think about that move. Maybe not the full 18 years if the kids went away for a couple of years of school before that, or whatever. But you know, you're so used to things being a certain way that it's got to feel strange, regardless of if it's worse or better. Oh, damn. He got me right at the end. I'm glad that wasn't the first time. That would have sucked. Yikes. Okay. Flame hand's good. Yeah, I don't know, like, what was I talking about, dude? I wonder what the fuck I was talking about. I can't recall. This whole situation is going to fundamentally change some things. I think I'm going to keep a mask in my car at all times, and probably, you know, buy gloves that I keep like from here on out. It just makes sense, and I don't care. Like, we've seen it for a while. I work at an Asian food restaurant, and a lot of the time we get customers, especially older customers, who wear face masks every time they come in. Anytime they're out, they'll take them off to eat or whatever, but they're always masked up, and I always thought, like, that's obsessive. There's nothing going on, dude. It makes so much fucking sense. It's just like a basic, like, why the fuck not kind of situation. Like, what is lost by being that kind of cautious, you know? Absolutely nothing. And, you know, I think SARS and something else they were more damaging in those other countries, so it's really, like, I have no right to judge how anybody else handles anything when it comes to, like, their own health and well-being. It's like May 1st over on the East Coast, and I guess Central Coast also. The Central Coast. Okay, we're going to use this up. But yeah, I think the whole thing, like, it's going to cause some degree of long-term change. And that's hopefully for the better. I think there's also going to be some pretty negative, maybe not long-term, but short-term change. And I think those negative ones are going to they're going to suck. Like, the United States is, like, essentially lost face, even more so in the eyes of the world. I don't think that it's necessarily significantly worse in a lot of ways, because I think electing a reality TV failed businessman clown person has shown the flaws with either the American psyche overall, or specifically you know, our political, we don't have any political clout. I think Bush was considered kind of a goofball, but nothing too crazy. Kind of a warmonger mostly. I think he was considered Cheney's little puppet. But this is like a whole new, brand new, ridiculous level of just pitiful shittiest-ness. Why? That's not good enough. That's not the one that I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of remote bullets. Okay. Apparently I'm not. I think it's kind of proven it's less than worth it right now. Okay. It's worth less than the money. We already found out the secrets. Let's keep going. I'm hoping some of the positive long-term ramifications are things like they're not likely to be the case. I'll go ahead and say it. Did I sell? Oh, okay, sold the commando. But like, you know, better treatment for like these essential workers. I know that some states, or a state, is doing like free education, free college to essential workers or something like that. I saw it today, like one state or one town or one area or something is basically saying like anybody that was deemed an essential worker during all of this, whether healthcare or grocery store or whatever, is getting, you know, tuitionless college or something like that, you know? And that's a great start. That's a good look. That's the right direction to go from all of this. To say like, hey, we realized that we had our values wrong. And you're worth more than that. Like, raising the minimum wage would be another great thing to come from this. Universal fucking healthcare, etc. So there are not quite so many people that just straight up can't get tested or treated. Damn, jumped too far. Ooh, the explosion killed him. Huh, you can use another explosion to take him on, okay. But I'm not looking for this whole situation. Damn, what the fuck? I'm not trying to like profit or, oh man, or think of this as like a great situation to get the things that I want, politically or otherwise. But man, if any fucking good can come from this, all the better for everyone. I guess is how I feel about it. Shit, I'm gonna go back and load that up a little bit. I shouldn't have used it in that room for no reason. That's at least how I'm looking at it. I don't want to think of this as just like an opportunity to weed out some of the evils or whatever, because there are people fucking dying. Like, I saw today that, or saw yesterday that the number of American deaths has already surpassed the number of American lives lost in the Vietnam War over its many years. And you know, there's all these memorials and people that talk about the honor and the sacrifice of the heroes and veterans, and they are absolutely fucking right about all of that. However, we've already crushed that number in, you know, a handful of weeks. Like, 9 years, and people are still acting like it doesn't fucking count because it's a flu or whatever their horrendous bullshit they're spouting. Like, I don't know, man. I'm personally pretty sick of the downplaying of it in a situation where fucking lives are lost. Like, okay, come on, get him. There we go. Double vision is fucking amazing. I think I kind of just like moved past that like it didn't exist, but double vision is an amazing pickup. Dude, I'm gonna use Corsair for a little bit. But it's probably a very little bit. Ooh, never mind. We're good, baby. Sorry, Corsair. You fucking missed your opportunity. I got a better shitty gun. Damn. Ba 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 da da bum bum. Whoa. Whoa, come on. Now I gotta jump across this room that I hate. With the long jumps, there we go. Now I know that jump distance is tied to speed. It makes more sense why that's easier. Oh man. The shotgun coil. I don't know, like... you know, what... I brought this up a few videos ago, and I feel the need to say it again. Overreacting to a crisis like this is not the bad response. It's not. Like, for some reason, people are convinced that, like, losing a little bit of fucking economy is worse than losing a huge number of lives. Like, it's just not. It is so much worse to lose the fucking lives. And I really hope people feel disgusting at the thought of even holding the thought that the other might be true. Like, you should feel like a traitorous, despicable piece of crap if you think that the economy shouldn't suffer so that, or, you know, sacrifice people, save the economy. Like, those fucking wannabe, I don't know, like tributes or whatever you would call it. The people who were, those old conservatives who were like, sacrifice me to save the economy, I don't want my kids to be poor. Like, one, it's fucking ridiculous how much they hate the idea of being without money, that they think they should be willing to die for it, when there are poor people who exist currently, like, who are suffering and dying under occasions. They just, like, I'd rather die than my kid live in a world where they might be poor. And like, why don't you fucking care about the poor people who currently exist, or is it just your offspring that you're concerned with? Like, why can you be so selfish when it's other people dying, but, you know, you're heroically selfless? And it's like, man, it was just like, that was a good way for them to get some attention. Like, for people to think highly of them, like what they're willing to give up. Why not give up the fucking economy? Like, give up the need to be wealthy, the need for stocks to just grow forever with no end ever in sight. Why not give that shit up and let your kids live in a world where they're still alive and doing well, but, you know, they don't have quite as much in bonds and stocks as as you'd like them to have. Like, it's fucking irresponsible. But I don't know. I wish I had something else to talk about. The main thing was Nate leaving, and that's been kind of on my mind for most of the day. But I think it's one of those things that, like, I don't have my opinion about the situation totally figured out, and what I do have about it is not necessarily something I want to share. But I just hope that people like take this opening of the parks and stuff not as like the inch that gives them a mile, you know? I mean, they're almost definitely going to be like, well, we could go to parks, we could go boating and stuff. Why can't we go to baseball stadiums? Why can't we go to shopping malls? Why can't we go to water parks? Why can't we go to spitting in each other's face competitions? Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's too early. And I think, like, you know, people are saying they're using things as, like, control tests. These control tests are using human lives. Do you know how fucked up it would be if the FDA was testing a drug that might kill some of the people in their control test? Do you know how quickly that shit would be shut down? But when it comes to, like, dealing with this thing, I think they're really just tired of being in their houses. Like, that's it. They feel like they've sacrificed enough, and now it's time for other people to be their sacrifices. And it's just, it's problematic. I gotta find someone else to talk about. I got to. I don't know, man. Trying to keep my exercising up. Trying not to talk about it too much. Really getting more into the drawing thing. I've been really loving the amount of, like, focus that I've had. I think this schedule of an hour of drawing every day has been extremely good for me. And it's such a skill that I desperately want to continue developing. That, like, it's a majority of what I'm thinking about when I'm not thinking about this frightening, terrifying, stupefying, uncontrollable nonsense that's going on. Oh, I should have waited. Okay. I'm glad he didn't go invisible, but he very well could have. He did. Okay, it was at the end. 2 blinks here. Damn. Didn't need to do it. Got scared. Holy crap. That gun is strong. Alright, well, now we got a room starter. We have a bunch of guns that I would consider room starters right now. Come on, guys. Get where I want you to be. Yeah, you're good. You're good. No! Ah, fuck. Well, that super sucks. I gotta stop being, like, so ready to leave the confines of the room. That's stupid. Just trying to go fast. Fast is not worth the waste. I would like oiled cylinder, I think. Whoop. I didn't even check how much I needed. With double vision, that is the gun right now. Didn't use it. I just had to see if there was something else. Oops. Well, that probably could have taken it. Dang. I may be about ready to give up some of these mini fire base weapons that I have. But that's a maybe. No promises. This is going immediately. I think, what is the synergy? No. Get the fuck out of here. Man, what I wouldn't give to get, what you call it? That trash can thing. Junk cannon? Trash cannon. Oh, it was probably in the other shop. Oh well. Yeah, the exercise. I started doing jogging. 2 out of every 3 days, or somewhere thereabouts. I don't have it locked into a routine quite as much as the other stuff, but trying to put like 15 or so minutes of jogging. I'm at 15 now. It's a number that I'm like slowly increasing. The first couple weeks that Nate and I did it, like we started at 3 and then we went to 4 minutes of jogging because we hadn't done any of it. Then we jumped up to like I think 10 minutes, and you know, today was his last day here, and we are at 15 minutes of jogging. And for me, that was like a huge improvement. I love distance running in terms of just like a very good kind of low pressure exercise, low impact. I mean, I guess it's all impact, but still, like, it doesn't. There's probably better ways to do it. Playing a sport, doing something with an objective, whatever. For me, it feels like, oh yeah, I can't run on that. It feels great, and that's primarily what I love about it. Such a bad dodge. Like we were doing meditation. Yeah, okay, he's not dead just because I put him on the fire. And meditation was great, but right now I genuinely feel like I'm getting the same kind of like mental relief I was getting from meditation from the jogging. Like I start when we started meditation each day, when I started, I felt like full of thoughts that were going everywhere, and I was replacing everything. And through the guided meditation, I felt like eventually I was just clear and free of it. There wasn't the same amount of like mental blockage, you know? And that's pretty much what jogging is doing. Dang, this sucks. I'm stupid. For me right now, jogging is giving me the same amount of like mental space. Like it's maybe a little bit less concentrated than the mental space I was gaining from direct meditation. But it definitely, it's clicking off the same endorphins. It's stroking them off, it's beating them off. Speaking of meditation, I've been watching Pendleton Ward and Duncan Trussell's Netflix show, Midnight Gospel. We watched, all three of us, me, Jackie, and Nate, watched the first episode together and were underwhelmed. It was like so here's the premise of the show. There's this space cast. Space Cast is kind of like an outer space, like, internet thing. People are this guy's it's like YouTube, you know. And Duncan Trussell's character Clancy goes around and does interviews with people, and puts them on his Space Cast. And he meets them in a multiverse simulator. He goes into his computer and it drops him into the simulation of another planet on the multiverse, and from there he has these interviews, and like basically it's a conversation with two people with a little bit of like light voice acting, where they're dealing with the actual stuff that's going on in the animation, but mostly it's just like it's window dressing for the interview, which is a really cool way to present it. I'll give you that. The first one just felt kind of floppy, though. One, I think Dr. Drew is like, he's not somebody I care about. I'll just say that. So it had less of an impact. Two, I think the premise of the visual element of the episode, which is what's happening on this parallel Earth, basically, was really not compelling. It's just like a zombie outbreak, and they're dealing with that. And zombie outbreaks are pretty fucking hard for me to give a shit about because they've been oversaturated. But oh fuck. But it's got like, I was picking up on some weird things that I was focusing on with it in the first episode. Like, it's got a cool style of illustration, but a pretty underwhelming style of animation. Not the things that happen, the animation ideas and things that transpire are pretty great, but the animation itself is fairly lackluster. I keep doing this. And it's really stilted. It's really like jittery. The frames per second is on the low end when it comes to the animation, and it's distracting to me. And that's a dumb thing to be fixating on. I'm like well aware of that. And as I've been watching it more, I've been spending less time focusing on the things that it lacks and really, really appreciating the things that it brings. Some of the discussions are pretty woo-woo. They're about different. It's all about the mind. Every episode is about the mind in some way or another. And a lot of them are about like mysticism, magic, Buddhism, meditation. These things that like they're easy to make fun of because silly things to think about that I think most smart audiences will feel like they're too brainy to be fooled by it, or if it's too woo-woo. And I'm right there with them. I when they started talking about like ceremonial magic and stuff like that, I was like, oh, okay, you've started to lost me. It started to feel a little Joe Rogan experience, and I think there is still a good amount of that. But when it's presented with the incredible animation and the style of the fucking show, once you get used to it, it is amazing. I'm not surprised that something Pendleton Ward has put his name on is incredible. Like, even Bravest Warriors, which wasn't quite the knockout success that Adventure Time was, even Bravest Warriors is really, really great if you really you give it the time. It kind of feels like it I don't know, it didn't get the resources to grow the way it should, and maybe started to become a little bit of a mockery of itself, but towards the end it felt like rushed. But it felt like the jokes were not falling and stuff like that, and the ideas were like all pushed out of the gate earlier, so it didn't really, they didn't have the same weight, they didn't land quite as hard. But Bravest Warriors is still great, and I don't know, I like Pendleton Ward knows how to be a part of things that are great and interesting. Managed to, nice. I'm not gonna give this more ammo, so it's gonna get munched. Trick gun, you're just a sacrifice. Gold is us willing to sacrifice. With a Winchester, which is a better shotgun than the Trick gun's shotgun. You probably will not be using it though. But yeah, once the episodes, you start seeing the greater themes of the episode, you start paying attention to the animation, because I was treating it like a weird podcast. I was treating it like I didn't need to look at what was happening because I already because I was thinking that, like, you know, this is just a vehicle for them to have the interviews. This is just a platform. But it has a whole second life in its visual storytelling. And I love it. Like, I still wish, I don't know if it was a budgetary thing or a stylistic choice, I still wish the animation was a little more fluid. I personally would appreciate that, but the show does so much more. And it's got that long-form storytelling aspect that Pendleton Ward is so good at. The seeding, the dropping hints, the referencing things. What? Why are these guys turning to ice? There's some sort of ice foot situation going on. It's something that I'm really growing to respect in some of the showrunners I like, where they know how to keep things. Oh yeah. It's not just, if it was just like dropping hints and then making callbacks to them, I think that could become a little cheesy. Like, it can't seem smart every time, if that's all it takes. But when it's done well, it is such a good technique, in my opinion. It is something that really is effective in storytelling, in my opinion. Again, I don't know, maybe it sucks overall. I don't watch enough TV to know if that's good. But like, I literally get like impressed with it all the time. Why is this sometimes turning into ice? Damn it, stop doing that. Damn it. I still don't understand why that's turning to ice, and I hate it. Is it this blue guanstone? That's probably it. Yeah, Midnight Gospel is something that I feel presently surprised at. I'm in episode 7. I refuse to look up how many episodes there are in the season because I start doing things where I'm looking for the season closer and stuff like that, and I hate it. I find myself like there twice. I already thought the season or even the series was concluded, and then when the next episode just picked off after this like major shit happened for the main kind of story arcs that are going on, it felt fantastic to think that they let things go so crazy in this character's world, and then they handled it. Like, I don't know, I think a lot of times, like, I don't like the feeling of season ending kind of stuff, you know? I don't like it when it seems like they're trying to give you the cliffhanger starts and stuff like that. The beginnings of cliffhangers and all that. Like, you know how much I hate cliffhangers. I still like it when they're done well, but like, if we could just do without them entirely, that'd be cool. Just let things really stand as is. And I think that that's something that, like, well, I don't know how much it's happening in this case. I think they're not using cliffhangers, they're letting things wrap up on a per episode basis, but they're definitely building to something, which is okay. I don't have a problem with things building. I have a problem with things intentionally being put at the end of an episode so that they can be resolved or at least addressed in the next episode so that people come back and watch. And maybe that's one of the benefits of YouTube, is like they know that the next episode is like a click away. They don't release things on the standard once a week, a new episode, a new update kind of thing, so you don't need to have people sitting around talking about it hoping when they're going to come back. It cannot be south. What is fucking going on with the ice? A lot of keys right at the freaking end there. I think I'm gonna go with this one just because no, the accuracy's probably fine. That's all right. Well, we're kind of in a rough situation for this one now. I think going into phase 2 with only a single blank. Oh, okay, good. Don't have to worry about it. Let's just get through this fight. We got the LF. Or we got the LG. I want to use this and this. Wait, no. This and this. Is the bed wedding thing getting rato bupadu daddy do do do. I wonder if that is hitting a DPS cap because of how it kind of shoots it. Like it's one hit after the other instead of one big one. Woohoo, you chump. You fucking dirty chump. Wow. Wow, those were some dodges, dude. I want to go back to this bad boy, though. This little beast, beast. Almost done, baby. Please don't just stand in the doorway. I'll be done in just a second. Ah, damn it. Damn it. Well, at least we'd already gotten hit by that point. That run was not overall good. It took a long time for it to get anything, and then it relied pretty well. It didn't rely heavily on that. It just took a while for things to get comfortable, I guess. But, you know, not a ton of great stuff on that one, but some good stuff. Still got a lead gun.